Greetings everyone. Today we will talk about reported speech, questions, and imperatives. By the end of the lesson, you will be able to identify the reported speech structures of questions and imperatives, apply them correctly in the exercises, organize your ideas in a dialogue using reported questions orders. Some keywords are ask, wonder, want to know, tell, order, warn, command. During the lesson, you will be able to develop the following skills: reading, listening, speaking, and writing. Well, I would like to begin with reading some examples of direct questions and reported questions. First of all, I would like to recall how we form direct questions. They can begin with a modal auxiliary verb or with an auxiliary verb followed by the subject, such as do, does, did, have. They might also begin with a question word, such as who, which, where, when, what, followed by the auxiliary verb plus subject. Let's read the examples together. Will Tom be here tomorrow? Have you been working hard? When did he leave? Have you finished? What time does the bank open? Well, to change these direct questions into reported ones, we need also to remember that there are some special verbs, such as ask, inquire, wonder, want to know. Let's read together these examples of reported questions. She asked me if or whether Tom would be there the next day. He inquired if I had been working hard. She wanted to know when he had left. Our teacher wondered if we had finished our classwork. He wanted to know what time the bank opened. So, to introduce the reported questions, we need to use one of these verbs: ask, wonder, want to know, or inquire. Let's study one by one some rules when we want to change a direct question into a reported question. Remember that the verbs in reported questions are in the affirmative form. So from direct question, why did you go to the doctor? He asked. We will change it into an affirmative form. He asked me why I had gone to the doctor. Well, I hope also you can remember, you can recall the fact that the verb moves one tense back. So from past simple, it will change into past perfect. And from direct question, we can see that it changed into an affirmative sentence. If the direct question begins with a question word, the reported question also begins with the same question word. Where are you going? She asked. She asked me where I was going. So I have the question word here, where, and it will follow in the reported question. And from are you going, it will change into I was going, into the affirmative form. If the direct question does not begin with a question word, but it begins with an auxiliary verb or a modal auxiliary verb, the reported question will begin with if or whether. Did you enjoy the concert? He asked. He asked me if or whether I had enjoyed the concert. From past simple, the verb moves one tense back into past perfect without forgetting the fact that from a direct question, it changes into the affirmative form. Reported speech commands. We commonly use tell, beg, command, advise, warn, or order when we report commands and ask when we report requests. The imperative changes to plus base form or not to plus base form. Sit down, John, said Kim. Kim told John to sit down. So from sit down, it changes into to sit down. Don't tell anyone, please, Laura said. Laura asked me. From don't, it will change into not to tell anyone. Reported speech request. When the request is in question form, in a reported speech, it usually changes to plus base form. Will you lend me that book, please? Kate asked me. Kate asked me if or whether I would lend her that book. So the modal verb will changes into would, and from a question, it will change into a statement. Kate asked me to lend her that book. Another way of changing from direct speech request into a reported one. Let's practice together. Here you can find some examples of questions and orders, and let's try to change them into reported ones. Has your cousin directed a film before? Sue asked Tom. Remember how we begin the reported statement, a question? Sue asked Tom if his cousin had directed a film before. Well, I would like you to continue with the next ones, with the following sentences, and then, of course, you can correct them. You can also have a look with the correct form of them. Thank you for watching. I hope you find the video helpful.